Uh-oh.
I looked it up. He had 46 innings coming in. 12 of them he had 12 hitless innings in his career.
Of the 46.
Out of 46 innings he threw in his career, 12 of them 12 full innings he did not allow a hit in. And he threw seven in a row in his last collegiate start.
Oh, his last ever start. How about that? Going out with a bang.
Yeah. He in his career he had 26 appearances, 5 starts. He was 0-5 with a 5.96 ERA. It was his first career win.
And it was a no-hitter in his last ever start. That's remarkable.
It's like the most incredible thing I've ever heard of.
Right. Yeah.
As far as pitching goes, like it doesn't make any sense.
There's a literal no sense, but that's part of the allure of it all too. At the same time, like
that's baseball, man.
Yeah,
that's
in a nutshell.
The stats don't even matter. Why do we have stats if that's what's going to happen?
Exactly right.
And they swept, and they went 6-8. Our baseball team went 6-8 with 2 no-hitters in 9 days. Didn't make the playoffs.
2 no-hitters.
We hadn't had a no-hitter since 2010. All right, that's enough about that. People are watching the people watching the YouTube, primarily Johnny, will not have much interest in our Division III baseball, but
maybe in the ice cream.
Yeah, no, he'll definitely appreciate you eating on the stream. That's beautiful. Anyway, he was just pitcher of the week today, so I wrote that up.
Which you couldn't do earlier because you're in the tent, right?
I was in the tent for not 3 hours. Yeah. Okay.
Hockey.
I'll hit the record button. We can fire this guy up. All right. All right. Here we go. Bill, it's time for the Empire Hockey Podcast, and we have a new champion, the third ever Empire Hockey Association champion. It is the Fly Guys, the Flyers, Bill. How do you feel with the Flyers winning a title? In real life, maybe not that great, but
Patrick Empire Division represent, baby.
Oh, right. Division. I forgot. Yeah, he's representing you.
Yeah.
All right. Mark with a big win.
Loving the Patrick winning the title.
And the Vancouver Canucks have turned into the Buffalo Bills of the 90s here. or the Vancouver Canucks of real life.
Also very accurate. You're right. Oh, but
what a close
matchup, though.
It was a great
matchup.
314 to 306. Getting this wrong.
314 and a half, 306 and a quarter.
Wow, that's a great final.
Mm-hmm.
And who won the toss? I know somebody did the math on that.
So that's the crazy thing. I have only gotten to look at stuff today because I was just inundated with work the last several days. But 270 and 3/4 to 269 and 3/4. Ottawa beats Tampa by a point.
Is that accurate?
Well, I mean, that's how the stats show up. Unless it's like broken down and I didn't look at it right.
No, because it's only 1 week.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a terrible person.
No, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. But you have to look by period, right? And then by certain dates. Oh, it won't let you do that. All right. So someone has to do math. It's probably going to be me.
So we do day, and then you just go backwards by day, right?
Yeah.
Do we want to do it live on the podcast?
Not particularly.
Okay, then we won't do it. No.
Unless you want to do it while I'm talking about other nonsense.
Well, I got to finish my ice cream cone first, and then
you finish your ice cream. Yeah. We got to get to the players of the week anyway.
You're right. Fair enough.
Let's start with the forwards of the week. And helping Vancouver to, I guess, finish second was Leon Draisaitl, the third forward of the week, 24 1/4. Jeff Carter was second for the Idle Blues.
How about
24 1/2. Yeah, Jeff Carter. What do you know? And then, of course, Connor McDavid, 26 1/4 to go over 100 points for the year, I'm pretty sure, right? In real life points.
Pretty sure, yes.
100 on the dot, actually.
Wow.
32, 68, 153 games. Fine. Oh, well, that's right. Oh, I wish I'd actually looked at what the last 7 days was and not done this. Oops. That could change some things. Hold on. Monday to Sunday. Let's do that. Monday was the 3rd. Wait. What day is it today? The 10th?
It's the 10th. Last Monday was the 3rd.
All right. This does change. Yeah, I'm dumb. Okay. Well, this changes only a few things. Only McDavid had an even better week because it's not going back 7 days from today, which
that's
included
weird.
a bunch of games where nobody played. Third forward is Kaprizov, 26.
Represent.
Second is Draisaitl. So the only thing that happens here is Carter gets bumped, which is too bad, but whatever. He won't mind unless he listens to this. Draisaitl's the second at 30.25, and the top forward of the week was still McDavid at 38.75.
Goodness gracious! Wow.
The good thing Toronto wasn't in the final. He can look forward to that someday when he makes the final.
Right. In Toronto, real life, Toronto wins the division, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Top defenseman of the week. Bill's gonna be mad again.
Oh, was it not Nurse again?
Yeah, he's number 1. Sean Walker and Matt. Sean Walker's number 3. Wow, that's interesting. Sean Walker.
Who is Sean Walker?
He's a defenseman for the LA Kings. Played for Philly though, which is important.
Oh, that's right. Yes, the Gritty Gazette recapped that. That's right.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Alec Martinez used to play for the Kings, now for Vegas, and plays for Chicago in our league. 20.75, second defenseman, and Darnell Nurse for Detroit, helping him finish, I believe, third place. I mean.
Mm-hmm.
20.5. Now those numbers should be right from that game.
So were there no games yesterday?
No.
Okay, got it. So it was Monday through Saturday in real life. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, sorry, we didn't mention that Detroit finished third. They beat the Ducks 296.25 to 283.25. So that was the final in the third place game.
Yeah.
Which is important. So the Ducks, who won last year, finished 4th this year. Still a solid finish for them. And Bruce there. His team's pretty young. I feel like they're going to be in it for a while. Very comprehensive Gazette this week from Patrick.
Just an outstanding Gazette. Probably the best Gazette ever.
It is definitely the best Gazette of all time, highlighting the Flyers kind of not quite worst to first, but they were 22nd out of 24 teams in the very first year, as Patrick reported. They made the playoffs last year. It was controversial because they were given a win after the fact. Actually, no. They actually would have gotten bumped if not for a fix of a roster that went bad that I didn't notice. And since we had them in and Chicago out, we kept it that way, even though the Blackhawks, I think, were supposed to get in. There was a little bit of controversy last year, but we figured it out. Anyway, Flyers got in. They got bounced last year from the first round. They make it all the way to the finals, and they beat Vancouver this year. Anything else stand out from? It was very long. You should read it. It's on the Slack.
Yeah. I kind of almost teared up. I mean, we had a Tolkien reference. We were talking about
Jared Tolkien. Yeah.
Bringing everything back in. The hope. I mean, we had hope involved. It was really something. And I'm happy that Varlamov turned out so well for someone.
Yeah. Pro pick.
Yeah.
16th round. So the first.
Yeah. My flat out release last year of Varlamov.
That's interesting.
Contributed to the good draft. So. Yeah.
Of course, Orlov was big. Like the guys you don't, that's the best part of the league, right? Those two help you win a title. Yeah. Orlov and Varlamov.
Well, and it's crazy because, like you said, Draisaitl, you look at the Vancouver forwards, and let's see. Does it break it down? It doesn't break it down, but Draisaitl 49, Pavelski 27. These are the centers. Wenberg 25.5, Marchessault 22.75. So just his 4 centers for Vancouver got him 130 points from 4 guys. Like, I mean, it was remarkable production. But
Yeah.
but like we knew that Marshawn would come through and some other guys. But then, yeah, I mean, like when the goalie difference is 34 3/4 to 1 1/4, that's, comes down to the pipes in this case.
Yeah, for sure.
Leonard just didn't get it done for him.
No. Do you want to hear the top? We finished the top players of the week. The top goalies of the week. Philippe Gustafsson was the 5th goalie of the week. I'm just doing this because they all had over 16 points. Michael Hauser was the 4th best goalie. He's still the free agent from Buffalo. Maybe he gets some clock next year. Who knows?
Maybe.
Cal Peterson was the 3rd goalie. Mike Smith was the 2nd goalie, and Alex Lyon, the former Yale Bulldog, was the top goalie of the week.
Who?
Philadelphia Flyers in real life.
Okay.
Goalie.
Okay.
He's the backup, I guess, to the kid they have over there.
Carter Hart.
Carter Hart. Yeah, right. So Lyon, I saw him play many times at the Yale Whale in ECAC. So that's kind of interesting. He's a free agent going into next year. So in our league, 28 years old. It's definitely a career AHL guy, but it's cool to see guys like that get a chance. And he had over 10 points a game in 2 games. So that's pretty good. That wraps up the players of the week. We can get back to the finals now and the semis and the.
I can let you know that it was 159 to 132 Ottawa over Tampa.
So Ottawa still won. Okay. So Ottawa takes the Toffs.
At least in the second week, what I just did the last 6 days, like Monday through Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. That's the winner. Right.
159 to 132, and a very balanced approach from Ottawa.
Okay, so Ottawa gets the top odds at the pick. That's important. I'll sort out the whole draft order. Well, I guess the lottery order, right? That's what we're dealing with.
But it's still odds. They're still drawing.
It's still odds. Right. The odds for the lottery will come up then, and then the teams that made the playoffs, it's set the same as NHL, where it's I believe that if you made it to the semifinals, then it slots in that way. But if you're outside the semis, it's rank order of regular season record finish. Yeah. Next on the agenda, Bill, what do we have? Prizes. We have obviously the prizes go out to the champion, Philly.
Yeah.
Second place, Vancouver.
Yeah.
Then you have the 3rd place winners, Detroit. And 4th place, Ducks. Now, if you win your division, it says Ducks won the 3rd place game. That didn't happen. We can fix that. Division champions get their prize pull back, or entry fee. Chicago, Winnipeg, Pittsburgh, and Montreal. So that's big for those guys. Not a big, I mean, the Winnipeg season gets a little overlooked, right, Bill? The 28-5 because of Chicago.
Indeed. I mean, they were right there, and then the unfortunate, way it went for them in the playoffs as well. But I mean, yeah, it was a great year.
Oh yeah,
Tremendous year.
Yeah, great year.
Ultimately a free year because, like you said,
you like this bottle opener, by the way?
It is a nice bottle opener. Yeah.
RPI hockey puck.
Looks like a puck. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It says official, made in Slovakia.
Nice.
It's RPI hockey. Oh, that's that way. And I have this Stone Brewing Company.
Looks like a skull.
Buenaveza Salt and Lime Lager. Can you read that? Can you see it at least? I don't know.
It looks like a skull, at least, yeah.
Yeah, it does. That's the Stone way.
I have this much left of my cone. So, cheers.
Cheers, Bill. This tastes kind of like a good Corona. Or kind of like a Corona, only made by Stone. Maybe it's Stone's version of the Corona. I don't know. It's good, though.
I'm really bad at knowing beer, so I totally take your word for it.
It's that wasn't for you necessarily. It was for the listener.
For the people.
Because, you were describing the label, which was nice because I realized a lot of people will be just listening to this. And then
it was mostly for Jeff Carter, who's listening in.
is for Jeff Carter, who may be turning it off after this point where we're talking about the beer. Maybe not. Maybe he's a beer guy.
Probably had one.
I'm guessing he had one.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, Bill, we got? I know we've talked about this before, but we have to worry about what the NHL is going to do with the actual entry draft.
We definitely have to figure that out, so that way we can have a draft.
Yeah,
and quite frankly, they need to figure it out because the EHA is more important. Like, I mean, they need to really get their priorities straight,
right?
So that the EHA can have a smooth off season. We've worked very hard to get back to this point where we can get back in the normal swing of things for the EHA. We've done our part as a league, as owners. Right. You shouldn't have to sweat any more than you should have to sweat, for which we are grateful and thankful that you've done all the hard work that you have in order to have us have another league this year in the way that it's gone as smoothly as it did. So thank you to you. So the least the NHL can do is get their act together so that
that's all we're
you
asking.
Can just go straight forward. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we might have to be creative when it comes to the rookie draft. We may have to, but that'll be kind of decided down the road. We don't have any official word yet, obviously, but we'd like there to be an entry draft of some sort where we can decide which players have rights to draft rights and things like that.
It's usually June, right, when they have it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I mean, even if it's a case where we do ours do we do ours in July and they do theirs in June? Is that how it works?
We usually try to have ours as soon as the real one as possible.
Right. Yeah.
Last year was about a week. Maybe two after, but yeah, that's the idea to keep the draft, hype train rolling, right?
Correct. Yes. Just to not forget what the heck happened in the draft. Yeah.
Important info for teams in the league here, right? Is that we added 3 minor league roster spots, so that teams will be able to, even if they keep all of the players and obviously didn't graduate. If you don't graduate anyone, you drafted 12? Is that what we said, or is it 15? It was 15. There's 18 minors roster spots next year is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
So you automatically get 3 picks. That's 3 rounds. And that's important. That's probably the most important rounds of the draft, right? Although you did get your goalie outside the top 3, right?
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I drafted. He was a minors draft pick.
Yeah, but what round?
Oh, 12th?
Okay, so that was outside the top 3. That was my point. The top 3 are the most coveted picks.Ose are the ones that get dealt a lot.
Yes, correct.
No one's really trading a 12th round rookie pick. But yeah,
more often than not, yeah, right.
The new we instituted this year, the 130-110 rule for games played for rookie status, which is important. Or no, was it? What's 110-70? I'm sorry. That chart that Josh came up with.
Yeah, 110 game. Was it?
110 games played for a skater.
Yeah.
And 70 games played for goalie. So if you're under 26 and stay under those limits, then you'll be eligible for rookie keeper status. Even if you played all. So even if you came up this year and played all year, that's only 53 games. So you will keep your rookie status for
with the caveat again, though, that you were drafted. You had to be drafted in the minor league draft. Yeah, you can't be like me and
scooping up rookies and things like that,
or accidentally keep a guy in a pro that should have been a minors keeper.
Well, that's definitely a UU problem.
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
But there's guys that have, and it happens more and more now. The guys play in college and then they play in the pros the same year. Those players are eligible to be kept as pros, but not as minors guys. So if you got a guy that just came out of college and you just pick him up off waivers, right? He's not a draft pick that you had before. Then he's eligible. Then he has to be a pro keeper. But you can, if you did pick up one of those guys, you can throw them back. Obviously you can throw them back in the pile and draft them this coming year. So I think so just to do a little bit of draft analysis, Bill, before we get to our draft podcast, which will be further down the road once we know something. This is our last cast of the 2020-2021 season, right? We'll get back into it later on, but for the time being, this is it.
We're putting a bow on it.
Mm-hmm. But so if you picked out some of those guys that are you like what they're doing, kind of keep an eye on them, because regardless of how the NHL entry draft goes for this year, 2021, those guys that played in college and are undrafted by EHA teams will be available, and you have some kind of idea of what their abilities are. They're probably not a top first or second, maybe even third round pick, but those college guys are proving more and more that they're, have some quality.
Stepping in and competing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have some examples of that, right? Guys that have played in college and stepped right in and played pretty well. I mean, there's the studs that we recognize that play 1 year or 2 years, like the kid for the Rangers, who's we confused as a Calder candidate,
Fox.
except for the fact that Fox. Alex, that he played last year. So he's EHA Calder eligible, but not
NHL Calder.
NHL Calder eligible. And do we let's get to that, because we know we have we don't want to give awards for everything, but we do want to talk about who we think the EHA Calder winner is. And it's got to be Kaprizov, right?
Yeah, I do think so. I mean, goodness gracious, like most points. Robert. I mean, I know Robertson was good. Now, what was the argument in Slack that
Kaprizov had
played overseas?
He played in the K.
Yeah,
and he is, he's 3 years older than Jason Robertson. It's a very valid. It's a valid argument.
It is, but I mean,
we've also seen this. I mean, the NHL has rules about who's eligible for the Calder, and he's eligible. So unless you change the rules, I don't think you can necessarily, dock Kirill for something that he doesn't really have control over, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's done.
That's always been
He should not be punished because he's simply doing what he needs to do.
Right. He shouldn't be punished the voters have their vote, right? And if this is baseball, there's probably a bigger problem with him winning, right? Because there are.
Yeah.
Because in baseball, there's probably some anti-Russian bias or something that some weird. No, I'm serious. Like the Baseball Writers of America have like some bizarre, dislike. I'll never vote for a Russian for Rookie of the Year or some weird thing like that. But I don't think that exists in hockey. I don't think it exists in hockey.
They did give it to Ichiro, right? I mean, when Ichiro, he was technically the Rookie of the Year, if I remember right.
Right? No, yeah, and I'm not saying baseball would have gotten this wrong or differently. I'm just saying like there's. as America's pastime, they probably have a bigger problem with Kirill. Maybe they wouldn't. I don't know. I think like hockey writers have a more grounded sense of reality for whatever reason. I'm not sure.
Sure.
Maybe because there's one in our league. I'm not sure of that.
I do think it would have been a little bit interesting. Like, I still don't think it would have been enough, but like if Tolvanen had played a few more games for Nashville, I wonder what he would have been like in the conversation as well. Because he had about 12 less games, I think, than everybody else, but he still was very productive in his time with the Predators.
And if you keep our eligibility for this, then it becomes a fun race. If you take Kaprizov out of it and the goalies, Robertson put up 137 points. He's probably the runaway, not the runaway favorite, but the favorite.
No, I wouldn't say he's a runaway, but he's the favorite. Yeah,
the favorite. Then you have Josh Norris in Ottawa.
Yeah, Norris had a heck of a year. Yeah.
And you have Jack Roslovic, who wouldn't be a rookie in any other case, but he's 24. He hasn't played 110 games. He put up 105 for Columbus on Bruce's team. And then you have Tim Stützle, who, he showed flashes. He's still super young, I'm pretty sure.
He's 19 years old.
Yeah, he's 19. But he put up almost 100 points, and he didn't play. I don't know if there's a service. I don't know if they have service. No, he played in 52 games. He just played on a really bad team.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
And put up almost 2 points a game for a terrible Ottawa team. So
and Sharon Govich finished with 29 points for the Devils.
29 points in real life, right?
Yeah, in real life.
Because he and Keandre Miller were identical fantasy players this year, which is kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
94 points each, 1.77 per game. That's really good for a first-year defenseman, right? Well, Sharon Govich is not a defenseman, but for Keandre he is.
Pretty scary knowing that the Rangers have him and Fox there for however many years.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that develops. The Rangers are definitely an interesting team. They have to figure out their goalie situation.
Well, and it's crazy because Lafreniere was one of those high on odds because of his pick status, and he still had a decent enough year. But like, if
75 points.
You got to go
never
down
really got off the ground.
About 10th. Let's see.
He's 18th.
Well, I mean, non-goalie. If you take goalies.
Oh, non-goalie. Yeah. Sorry. Yep. Hold on.
I think he's
out of the non-goalies. You have him at 10th.
No, it's a couple more. I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 12th non-goalie. Ty Smith beat him out by a quarter point.
Just ahead of Hoglander, another interesting name.
Indeed, and that's the other fascinating thing about this a little bit though is look at how many of these point producers are defensemen. Mm-hmm. Miller is there, Zach Whitecloud is there, Ty Smith is there. Then you go down to the Capitals,
Mikey Anderson,
Romanov, and Anderson. Yeah, so like I mean, it was kind of neat to see that there were some productive defensemen that were rookies this year too.
And people always look to the rookie goalies, right? Because you're looking for the next good, cheap, star goalie. Whether because guys like who's the kid in Tampa?
Vasilevsky,
yeah. I'm just blanking every name right now, Bill. That's kind of why you're here.
Well, you said kid. I wasn't totally sure, but yeah.
He's still I think he's only 26. Yeah, you're looking for the next guy because when they get good and they sign a second deal or a third deal, then they get to be over $10 million, and that's kind of expensive for a goalie in real life and in our league, right? Like you need Vasilevsky numbers to constitute that kind of deal.
Yeah, let's say the guy that owns Carey Price, for example, he's paying way too much money for the production that Carey Price delivered this year, as opposed to like Vasilevsky, you're paying a lot of money, but you're right, he produces at least for you.
We're definitely getting into the theory of the league, but also like in a 26 team league, you can't leave Carey Price out there no matter like even if he's getting $20 million, like at a certain point he becomes
I mean,
rosterable, right?
Well, I mean, especially considering when you see how some of these teams were affected by having goalies that didn't play for them. Like, and no offense to Vancouver, but in the case of having the wrong Vegas goalie in there, like it wasn't. If he got 7 points out of his goalie, he's the winner of the league. But he got 1.25.
It's something that'll stick with you, I think, right? Like. The roster moves you make and the ones you don't, and
it is. And my only piece of caution or advice or whatever is try not to predict how teams are going to handle their goalie situation, because that's what I tried to do with the Islanders and Varlamov, and why I let him go to begin with. And sure enough, he was way better than last year or one could have expected, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I've never made a good goalie move in my life, so I don't know what it's like, but. As someone who's had both of the starting goalies in Carolina over the last couple of years and tried to run out there with the kid in LA, and that didn't work out. Not the one that actually played.
Quick.
Yeah, Jonathan Quick. That didn't work.
He's not a kid.
You're right. He's actually. I was looking at it because. Whoever it was just became the all-time. Oh, Miller became the all-time leader.
Ryan Miller, yeah.
All-time games played or all-time wins leader.
Was it? I thought because I know when they feted him in the after the overtime game, they lost up in Minnesota. When everybody was like congratulating him after.
Yeah, the American-born all-time wins leader for American-born goalies is Ryan Miller.
Okay.
391. Then I got to looking at the list, right? The top American-born goalies list, which, while it is extremely sad, some things stood out to me. Okay. One is that John Van Beesbroek was actually pretty bad
overall stat-wise.
Yeah, he was 3 goals a game allowed in a .899 save percentage, but it wasn't a great time for goalies. Like I think if you're over 90%, yeah.
Yeah, bad time to be a goalie back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even worse time for Tom Barrasso, right?
Yeah.
Who won 369 games. He's third all time by U.S. goalies with a 3.24 goals against and 8.92 save percentage, which you would not get ice time with those numbers.
But but games were like 7-5.
I get that. No.
Yeah.
I'm not discounting. That's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
Quick, he has a shot. He needs to play on a winning team some more. But he's 2 years younger than me, which is, not very. Doesn't make me feel very good. But he has 336 wins. He's 60, less than 60 wins away from the record.
Where's Richter at?
Which is like, Richter's 5th. And that was also kind of surprising. He played the exact same number of games in the NHL as Jonathan Quick has played right now. But he's 35 wins fewer than Quick. There's only 5 U.S. goalies with 300 wins as goalie. You know the 6th top American goalie? You'll never guess who this is, by the way. He's still playing. The number 6 American-born goalie in wins with 291 is Craig Anderson.
Wow.
Who's like the most, bland, not impressive goalie. Just still like, it's just like, he's playing in Ottawa now. I don't even know where he is.
He's actually the Capitals goaltender, because with Samsonov back on the COVID list again, and he's backing up Vanecek. Yeah.
Well, he's not going to get credit for these wins because it's playoff time, but
he just won the other night though. He got a win against 291. Philly. Yep.
He's clear of Frank Brimsek, who is in 7th, who was born in 1915. And Jimmy Howard. Like, the list is...
Howard. Oh, man.
Jimmy Howard's the 8th most. He's the same age as me, that's... All right, we're not talking about that anymore.
Not going to lie, this is a pretty sad list.
Glenn Resch, who was born in 1948. I have no idea who he is.
Chico Resch?
Could be.
No, is that a baseball name? I don't know.
Glenn Resch. I don't know. Number 10 is Ben Bishop.
You remember Glendon Rush, the baseball player?
I do remember Glendon Rush.
Okay, yeah. Maybe he's related to Glenn Resch.
I remember Glenn Allen Hill, too.
Yeah.
All right, we cannot go down that.
Yeah.
That's the hole we cannot go down.
Yep. Running up that hill, we can't do that.
Tim Thomas is 11.
Oh, Tim Thomas.
Guy Hebert, who's actually from...
NHL 94.
He's from Troy, New York. He's 12th. Connor Hellebuck at 170 wins is in 13th. So he might be the next.
Connor Hellebuck is American?
Yeah.
Wow.
He went to UMass. I'm not sure where he's from.
It just seems like a totally un-American name.
He went to UMass. He is from Michigan.
Wow. Okay. Awesome.
This is good podcast stuff, so we'll continue here.
No,
Corey Snyder is 14th.
In NHL 94, who is the backup to Guy Hebert?
For the Whalers?
Yeah, was it Sebastian? I thought he was on the Ducks.
Oh, you're right. He's on the Ducks. Yeah. The awful
like
Ducks.
Sebastian something, and he was like a 39 overall, I think.
Yeah.
I just remember it was so bad. Okay. Oh, well. Yeah. Never mind. Go ahead.
Corey Snyder's... Okay, so tied for 13th, actually, is Hellebuck, Corey Snyder, and John Casey, all with 170 wins. Chris Terreri is 16th with 151.
How about that, though? In those Stanley Cups, you had 2 American-born goalies going at it with Casey and Barrasso.
Casey Barrasso, right. And Barrasso obviously was on a better team, Pittsburgh. But John Gibson, probably not a real good chance because seems like he's been good, but 148 is a long way to go. He's 17th. Mike Dunham is the 18th best American-born goalie. Then Brent Johnson with 140. Then you have 3 guys that you thought would be higher at 20, 21, and 22. Garth Snow, Rick DiPietro, kind of flash in the pan now, it seems like.
Infamy there.
Yeah, and then Brian Boucher. Yeah. Who I didn't realize he was that old. Other notables on this list, Ty Conklin has 96 wins. He's 26th. Jim Carey, the goalie.
Rookie of the year.
79 wins. And Robert Esch has 78 wins. And Jim Carey has 79. Keith Kincaid from Union College is 30th. Still active, 68 wins. Al Montoya, career backup, has 67. Alex Stalock is 61. He's 32nd. Thatcher Demko is the 40th most wins by a U.S. born goalie with 31. And that's it. That's kind of where the list goes. Cal Peterson has 19. Anyway, so that's a fun list. But anyway, pretty depressing all the way through. We should probably develop some more goaltending because it seems like at the college level there's a lot of guys, but maybe maybe you got another one in that kid from BU who's playing well for the Stars.
I know who you mean. He was brought up in the podcast. I can't think of his name for some inexplicable reason.
It is Jake Ottinger.
Ottinger, yeah.
Played at BU.
OETT.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure he is an American. Yeah, he's from Lakeville, Minnesota. I should have known that. Okay, well, that makes me feel dumb. We should probably wrap up this pod because I'm screwing up literally everyone's name on the show that I possibly can. Bill, let's get some final thoughts on the pod here. Obviously, we have a new champion. We want to congratulate once again the Philadelphia Flyers on winning the Empire Hockey Association this year.
Yeah, arguably, a arduous road to make it all the way through. So the navigating of a shorter season is no asterisk, no nothing behind this. This was hard earned. It was well accomplished, and like was it written in the Gritty Gazette too? There should be no shame for Vancouver because they put everything they had into it as well. So
of course,
great way to end a great year.
This is, people are saying, and I think I believe it. This is one of the most difficult championships to win in all of fantasy sports. So
100% true.
Yeah. All right, Bill, that'll do it for the season. It's been a fun one bringing you guys this Empire Hockey podcast, and we hope everyone liked listening to it because we certainly liked doing it, and it's been fun.
Thanks for letting me tag along.
Bill, you're the assistant commissioner. Of course, you're tagging along.
Thanks for everybody in the league for making it so fun.
For sure. We'll catch everyone this offseason.